Prime Minister Putin was quoted yesterday as suggesting that the South Stream project could be turned into an LNG project. Can you talk about that at all?
What I've heard is that he has asked someone to see if they could investigate what LNG could bring to Russian gas exports, and I understand that also in that context South Stream is being mentioned. I think it shows how prudent one is in wanting to investigate all the options and alternatives, but so far it really hasn't altered the South Stream project in any way. We'll wait and see.
If South Stream were turned into an LNG project, it could still exist, right? It could go ahead in that form.
Well, I don't want to go that far because it really would depend. It's a hypothetical question at this stage. It really depends then on what form that would take, and it's too early to tell. So I don't want to say here and now that I think it's going to be a concept which will actually work or in any way replace the current South Stream project. I think it's good to evaluate some of those things first.
Okay. The last 2 or 3 years have seen a fundamental change in the natural gas market around the world and in Europe. The shale gas boom in the United States has resulted in LNG from Qatar landing in Europe. So there is a more diverse supply of natural gas in Europe. Has that helped South Stream by making the Europeans feel more comfortable with their supply, so they're not questioning you about being so reliant on Russian gas?
Well, first it's maybe good to have a little historical perspective going back, let's say, 20 years. The share of gas from Russia in the imports into Europe has substantially declined. For example, thanks to the growth in Norwegian gas exports, but also you mentioned Qatar, and there are many other places that are now able to supply LNG that previously might be going somewhere else now to Europe. So we have a much more diverse picture. We have more LNG terminals, we have more pipeline interconnections, we will see more storage, and we have more spot market or hub activity, as we call it, which is a good term for here in Houston, where it's so close to Henry Hub, or maybe we're in it. And yes, that changes, I think, some of the debate. Of course, what is really important is that you're still able to count on those supplies. LNG can go to different places at different times, depending on price. The pipeline is less flexible, but there are times that that's maybe not so bad for the supplier and for the customer, because he knows he can count on it, it's going to come his way and not suddenly turn left or right.
Okay, I get that. So does that mean that when you're sitting down with whatever Europeans were expressing concern before, they're not expressing less concern?
I think that there's increasing awareness that this is really helpful, this increased diversity, yes, and that changes the context of the discussion somewhat.
Okay. Last question. Regarding your schedule going forward, when is the projected date when you make the final investment decision to go forward or don't go forward?
We're now projecting the final investment decision for 2012. I think that we're trying to achieve a schedule that brings us to the first half of 2012 for final investment decision, and what that means is that we will be on schedule to deliver first gas through South Stream before the end of 2015.
Thanks so very much.
My pleasure.